7 o'clock according to the Pownal Town Office clock. Welcome to the Planning Commission meeting, our regular meeting on, oh my God, I don't know the date.
The 19th.
December 19th, 2019.
Today's the 17th.
Today is the 17th, pardon us, we'll get it together
Take two
here.
off his meeting.
Yeah.
It's a tough time of year.
Don't listen to me.
Our agenda this evening, number one is the approval of this agenda. Number two is the approval of meeting minutes of November 19th, 2019. And discussion and approval of our budget for fiscal year 2020 slash 2021. We have no new business to discuss at this time or other business, and there is no mail at this time. So I would ask for approval of this agenda and a motion, please.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Any further discussion? Anything to add? If none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Before we do this, can we start there and just go around and introduce ourselves to the camera, please?
Sure. Rosemary Pelletier.
Megan Randall.
John Bashir. Sid Smithers.
Mike Slattery.
Jessica Witherell.
Very good. Thank you.
Hardly a slip up.
Everybody got it right. Everybody got it right. That's really cool. So let's take a look at the approval of the minutes. If we spend a few minutes on those, these are the ones from Tuesday, November 19th. We met at the Pownal Center Firehouse here in Pownal. Let's take a couple minutes. I know that we all know it's Michael Batcher,
I was just going to say.
but we might say Michael Batcher in that second bullet point. And as far as I'm concerned, you can write it in on the one that you want me to sign.
Okay.
You don't have to go and print all new ones.
Okay.
You can make a hand correction to that. Unless there's like 2 or 3 of them, 4 or 5, I don't know.
Jim Sullivan was here too. Was there?
He's the first bullet point here.
Oh. I thought you were looking up in
No.
it says present or in attendance.
Yeah, no, the second bullet point just said Michael, which could have been construed to be me or...
Also in the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7th bullet point after the word stormwater discharge, take the D off, discharged.
I don't have
I think I
a...
did, didn't I?
I don't have a
The
D
is
on
gone.
mine.
Yeah.
The D is gone, so...
I
go. Who are
Can I
you?
give you a new set? Or right to your...
Oh,
Sid,
here.
it's right to your
Sid.
left.
Here.
Right there.
I fixed everything you gave.
You fixed everything.
It was a test to see if you would edit it the same way twice.
See how OCD you are. Some people might say.
And then there, right?
Do we have a...
Yeah.
Thatcher. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I move.
Do we have a motion?
I move we approve the minutes
I'll second.
as amended by adding Batcher's last
Motion
name.
made, seconded. Any other discussion? If none, all those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? None. Motion carries. Be glad to sign that for you.
I gotta get it.
I kind of marked mine. Okay, all right. All right. Well, we didn't have our distinguished zoning administrator on the agenda tonight. I hope you don't take that personally.
Nope, I am here for a couple different things.
But
Nothing to do with this, actually, really.
but
Thought
I
I'd sit in for a few minutes.
okay, all right, good.
check us and see how we're doing, right?
I would say I can't let you speak as a member of the public because, you know, you're an official, so that would be
I'm
misleading.
here to observe.
Oh, okay, good enough.
How's
good
that?
enough, Good enough.
For a little while, anyway.
Yeah, all right.
Your
Well,
ears won't-
I'm glad. It's always good to be observed. And you don't want to sit and watch the whole Cat TV thing because this
Like an
could
orangutan
be a
behind
2
the
or
fence.
this could be a 2 or 3 hour meeting here tonight, and you don't want to have to get through that. So anyway, all right. Let's take a look at our budget sheets, and I'll just open this discussion by saying that in the last 2 years, we have not exceeded our budget. We've come in under budget both times. You can see on this sheet here that has the writing in the upper right-hand corner under planning board, a couple of things jump out. You know, the budget called for wages for the planning secretary of $2,000. Not 100% sure why we did that, but I tend to think that perhaps that was the transition between Julie and Danielle, and then Danielle left until we were able to get Jessica on board. So perhaps we were reflecting that because in the past it had been $3,000. However, where's the sheet that you asked? I brought up copies. That one there, if I may, I don't have a copy of that
This
one.
one here.
It should be
Yeah,
in your envelope,
yeah.
in your, leaf.
Yeah, it could
Get
be.
one of these?
No, it's not. Look at
not.
that.
Oh,
Oh, yeah, I've looked everywhere. I'm high and low. I don't have it.
Okay,
No, I'm shortchanged once again. So last year, we delivered this to the town a month earlier than this, but we had asked specifically for $9,000, and member wages, 9 people times 300 is 2,700. Secretary wages, we had asked for 3,000. Postage, $300. Printing, postings, warnings, 2,500. And continuing education, I don't know if that was granted or not. I think it was. It was. And that simply, if we do have educational forums that we find interesting, I had specifically asked the select board to insert that so that we could have a budget and send people to things, which I think you may have used some of that, by the way, and much appreciated. So that came out to $9,000. The member wages won't change. We have 9, right? The biggest one probably will be printing, posting, warnings, etc. of $2,500 in a year, where we hopefully will have all brand new bylaws, and we'll have to do some printing. Although the printing budget for the town plan came in way under what we had expected because Jessica went out and shopped it in 3 or 4 places and found ways of typing this that were far less expensive than this town has incurred in the past. So I guess what I'm saying is that what we need to discuss mainly, I think, I'd leave the rest of the budget the same with the exception of Jessica's wages. I know on the DRB we requested a raise for her because thanks to some testimony from Mr. Gardner here, he says business is thriving in that area and there's a lot of work that needs to be done. And I agree with him that Jessica's doing a great job and she should be compensated fairly for the amount of work that she's about to get herself into for this upcoming fiscal year. So with that, I will open it up to the Planning Commission for comments, questions.
I have a question. So you said we did not use up our entire budget this past year. So what happens to the excess? Does it,
Goes in, stays in the general fund.
so we lose it?
Yeah.
We can't roll
We
it
do.
over.
no.
Can't roll it over.
We have to, it's not,
Yeah,
it's not,
makes sense. Just wondered.
not like an HRA. It's
But it makes
or
sense
one of those.
to have like the training funds in. We might not use it, but
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
much easier to have it already planned for.
Right.
So let me ask Jessica a question. printing, posting, how about postage of $300? Is that, should we just combine that with overall printing, posting, warnings, etc.? I mean, $300, is that, do we really need to stipulate that?
No. Oh,
We
would
don't.
put
I
that
think
in
we
with
did on the
printing.
DRB one.
Yeah,
but,
that's totally separate and
Yeah.
different. I
Yeah.
do a lot of mailing for the DRB.
I
So-
don't know, based on what the auditor is recommending now, if they want to keep things. That was part of a discussion they had at one of the previous meetings of how much do you combine line items and how much do you keep them separated?
Oh, I know.
And,
I'm
yeah.
willing to
Yeah.
keep it separate.
uh-huh,
And then, obviously, if we blow through $300 of
Mhm.
postage, it's going to come out of the $2,500 of printing, et cetera. I think that's
Yeah.
how it works.
Mhm.
I don't think we're saying goodbye to it
Mhm.
if we
no,
separate it and then
no, we'd
use
roll
it
it
all.
into the other.
Yeah. John,
Do we have an idea what it's gonna be for the printing of this new bylaw? Is there a rough idea?
yeah,
What was the printing for the town plan? Because it'll be more than that, because there are gonna, well, no,
should be about the
it
same.
should be about the same number of pages.
We need to have a couple copies available here for the public. Each official should get one, certainly DRB members and planning commission members.
Copy at the
Michael,
library.
Copy.
Copy. 2 copies at the library.
Well, that's the proposal.
Mhm.
We could put copies of the zoning regulations and bylaws out there. That's
But
fine with
my
me.
suggestion is that we put them on the
On the
town
Website,
website,
yeah.
because then you
Exactly.
can go and download it yourself.
Self, right, yeah.
Good point, John, because we did spend less money because, like the town plan is on the town website, and we direct people to it.
Mhm.
I've done it many times myself. So, I know in the past that $2,500 was higher. Indulge me for 1 second. So here's the year before. Here's the year ending June 30th, 2017. Our total planning expense the year before was 8,500, but we didn't break it down very well. We had the wages of 2,100, so we must have anticipated 9 people. Secretary was 3,000. The actual 16 to 17 fiscal year was 2,500 of that was used. Planning board postage, it just says actual, it's a blank. And then there was nothing, we put in there planning board expenses of $8,500. That
Okay.
all encompassing kind of thing.
That was the whole thing, yeah.
We used 5209 during 16 to 17, and we did not use the whole 8,500 of expenses. Now, I'm comfortable with putting it in just as we had done last year with the $3,000 back in instead of $2,000,
Yeah.
and let the cards fall where they may.
Are we going to propose an increase for Jessica?
Well, I think here's where we have to talk about 2 boards. I'd certainly love to give you an increase, and I'm willing to put that in here. And it would be deservedly so. But we gave her like a 30% increase on the DRB budget. However, it can be argued that that is going to take 30% more time for her to be able to do her work there. So clearly, this is our budget, we
But
want to.
doesn't Jessica get paid, she doesn't get a lump sum of what the line item is for
No,
secretary. She
no.
puts in
You,
time slips
She does.
and gets paid
It-
weekly or monthly.
I agree, and it's but there is a budgeted amount to use to pay her for that 12 months of the fiscal year. So we don't have to go and petition the select board to take it out of the general fund to pay her if we go through
Oversee
this.
Yeah,
Let's make sure that we've got the right amount. So with that thought in mind, let's talk about the other items. Is everybody comfortable? Certainly the 2,700
Yeah.
for 9 members, right?
Yeah, I think the rest of it's fine.
yeah.
The rest of it's fine. So I'm open to suggestions and proposals for Jessica.
Well, the continuing education, have we even come anywhere near that?
Last year was the first year we had it. I'd like to.
If
I'd
we
like to
get
use
new
it every
members,
year.
Yeah, if we get new members on the board,
Mm-hmm.
sometimes you use it more with new members than you do.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind new members going to
Mhm.
some of the DRB's functions and
Mhm.
and their
Mhm.
the VLCT has training around the
Mhm.
state as well
Mm-hmm.
that
And
that
you
I've done
did-
in
mhm.
years past.
You get
Yeah.
mailings on that, on the,
Yeah, not as much as I used to. I got to look into that. I used to get a lot
Yeah.
more information from the
'cause I
VLCT.
never hear of
Mhm.
what's offered, and
Mhm.
I'm always interested.
And you can ask to be put on the
VLCT.
Oh, okay.
They have a
Yeah.
mailing list.
Yeah,
I get it every
yeah,
month.
they'll send it to anybody who's on these
Yeah.
boards.
Okay.
Let me ask you this question: is your hourly wages set by the select board, or is it based on what we put here?
It's the select board.
So we're
You do have an hourly wage.
you have an hourly wage.
Right.
So this amount is not really affecting what that wage
It's
is.
not.
It's just putting in enough
just
in the budget to
creating-
cover it.
Fair, yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Creating a bigger pot
Mhm.
when she
Okay.
works more hours,
Right.
like 40, 50 hours a week, just on the planning commission alone.
Which
So-
board
$1,000.
spends more time with
DRB.
DRB.
the
Mhm.
DRB
Yeah.
spends more?
Yeah.
I didn't mean to interrupt you, but I
Mhm.
asked her that specifically. And I mean, ours is more rewriting these
Mhm.
things, and
Yeah.
it comes in a flurry and then it's gone. The DRB's all the time,
Okay,
you know,
yeah.
sending out letters to
Mhm.
abutting property owners and,
Mhm.
you know, coming up with records of findings and, you know, that's there's
A
some.
lot of typing.
It's a lot of typing. It's,
Did we have a bigger budget on that one than this one is?
It's
Yes.
I don't
On the
know if I
DRB?
brought it.
Yeah.
You've got, was it 4,000?
I
That
th-
is,
Yeah, but
Yeah,
I
that's-
mean, we just submitted one.
oh,
to-
okay.
Yeah.
Did-
I remember
you don't
doing
have a
one
copy of
with
that,
them.
do you remember the one we did
Yeah.
last Wednesday or Thursday?
This one's saying 4,000 here for original.
Oh, for her,
For the DRB on. That's
that's-
what's on this.
the old,
That's
the
up
old
here.
DRB.
Yeah, the last
Yeah. Yeah, we had put
I'm
in for a
comfortable
raise.
with that.
Mhm.
Say it again,
Having-
John.
I'm comfortable with having that there where it's at. I mean, I'd rather have enough there than not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what I was gonna say with regard to that, would it make sense to raise it some? And if it's not spent, it just goes back in the general fund anyhow.
Right.
Right. Or if they deny it
Yeah.
and kick it back to,
Uh-huh.
you know, a different number.
Mhm.
So, suggestion, I mean, 20% of that number would be $600.
Mhm.
That would be $3,600.
Mhm.
Is that
So moved.
reasonable?
I
3,600?
think so.
So with so we have a
And you have a
motion
s- I'll
to
second that.
raise the secretary's
allocation.
wages or the allocation, the
Mhm.
budgeted amount of $3,600 and keep everything else the same as
Mhm.
last year.
Yes.
We've got a motion for that.
Mhm.
We have a second. Do we have any other discussion about that? If none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Very good. Now, I need a big motion. I need a motion to end this meeting, our last meeting of the year.
so moved in a happy new year.
I'm thinking we should stay a little while longer.
I mean, we came out on a night like this, right? Holy mackerel.
I'll second the motion.
Let's, I read,
You got it, okay.
And
So
the
we
motion,
have-
Happy New Year.
so we have a motion to adjourn and a Happy New Year added to it. And thank you all for all your work this year. It is much appreciated. Let's get these things done and, you know, somewhere hopefully around March, and we'll just take the rest of the year off. Meeting adjourned.
All right, thank you.
Thank
You'd
you
rather
all for
drive in
coming
the
tonight.
snow than
Yeah.
on a nice sunny